Hi, folks. I want to go over the quiz because, it wasn't our best, which is okay. It just means that we have to practice a little bit more. And maybe it means I have to be slightly more strict about our phone use, but it's going to be fine. But we do need to review this because, look, fractions are never going away. You're going to do them in grade 9, 10, 11, 12. We really have to kind of like get this. So I'll be going between the two. I think that the word problems are the same. So maybe they're not. Anyways, might be the same. Some of them are the same, so we won't have to do them twice. I'll start on test B. We're multiplying fractions. It's easier than adding fractions because you literally just have to multiply the top straight across and multiply the bottom straight across. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 4 times 7 is 28. These numbers are both even. We always want to have our fraction in simplest form. And you'd notice, the number, our answer isn't even represented here. So that's a pretty good idea that this isn't kind of like the final form that our fraction is going to take. I notice that they're both even, so I know I can pull out 2 out of each of them. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. And there we have it, D. Let's do the first one on C. We are going to multiply straight across, but one thing we should always look at when we are going to multiply a fraction is if there's a chance that we can cross reduce. So we're going to look diagonal and see are there any things that these numbers across from each other have in common? So we're talking about common factors. So a number that goes into that number evenly. So the factors is a number that multiplies evenly into another number. I don't just tell you this vocabulary for fun. It is a part of stuff you need to know. Like, for example, you needed to know it in number 2, what factors mean. So the vocabulary is really important because it's going to help you pull out the necessary information out of a question. So I know that the factors of 7 are just 1 and 7. So 7 and 7 have a common factor. We can pull 1 out of there. What about 10 and 6? The factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. So these are the numbers that multiply evenly into 10. And the factors for 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So the highest common factor is 2. So we can pull 2 out of each of these. There we go. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now we just multiply straight across. 1 times 3 is 3 over 5 times 1 is 5. There we go, A. Now find the common factors of 4 and 16. So factors are numbers that multiply evenly into another number. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. Because we can multiply to 4 by going 1 times 4 and by going 2 times itself. The multiples for 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So you can multiply 1 times 16, you could multiply 2 times 8, and you can multiply 4 by itself. So what do they have in common? Looks like they didn't even consider 1, but we also have 2 in common, and we have 4 in common. So the answer is B. Let's look at this one, the factors of 4 and 8. So we got 1, 2, 4 for 4. For 8, we have 1, 2, 4, and 8. So what do we got in common? Again, they don't have the 1 on there, but they got 2 and they've got 4. So it's also B. Now we have a word problem, and the word problems are going to be the hardest thing that we do in this unit. And I did feel like it's the thing that folks ask me about the most. And I think one of the main thing about word problems is try in the beginning not to freak out. Just take a second, read it twice, read it 3 times, and just see what it's actually saying. So first of all, 3/4 of Ica's, I don't know how you say her name, stamp collections are European stamps. So here's all of her stamps, and we're saying 3/4 of it, okay, or 3/4 are European stamps. Now, 1/3 of her European stamps are from France. So of this, 1/3 of them are from France. So what fraction of Ica's stamps are from France? This is like important to think, do we want this number to get bigger or smaller? Okay, like, is it going to be, are we going to end up with something that's like, yeah, I don't know, bigger than this or smaller than this? We're going to end up with something that's smaller than this. And I guess all of the answers, maybe except for, no, all of them are smaller. Okay. So if you think about it, we are trying to find 1/3 of 3/4. And when we have an of, it typically means we need to multiply. So 1/3. Now we just need to multiply straight across, or we can look for opportunities to cross reduce first. So if we look diagonal, we got a 3 and a 3, which means we can reduce each of them to 1. Now we have 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 1 is 4. So 1/4, that's B. I think it's the same here because we have 1/3 and then we have 3/4 of 1/3. So it's just the same, but they're reversed. So I think the answer is still A. So 1/3 times 3/4 is the same as 3/4 times 1/3. You still get 1/4. This next one, this one is the same on each of them as well. I would start by saying, okay, write a mixed number and an improper fraction for this model. So we're looking for a mixed number, which is going to have a big number and then a fraction beside it. And then we're looking for an improper one, which means that the top number is going to be bigger than the bottom number. So we know it's 3 because I can see there's 3 full colored in ones right here. That doesn't really help us because all of the answers have 3. So it's going to kind of rely on this one right here. So what you could do is count all of the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And say how many of them are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 12. But this isn't a form that we like to see fractions in. We want to reduce this. So what number can go into 8? They can also go into 12. I know 2 can go into 8 and could go into 12. But is there any number bigger? Yes. 4 can go into each of them. So let's reduce each of them by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we got 3 and 2/3. Okay, that's great. So it's either B or C. Now, is it going to be 8/3 or is it going to be 11/3? And the way that I would check this is just by converting the mixed fraction to improper form. Remember, the way that we do that is we multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we add the numerator. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11 over this same denominator, over 3. So it has to be this one. It's got to be C. And that's the same on this one as well. It's also C. I will do, these ones are basically kind of all the same. Or like at least like the same method. So maybe I'll just do a couple of these. Let's start. What test am I on here? I'm on C. Okay. So we can't multiply a fraction with a mixed number. Okay, we can't do this. So what we need to do first is convert this mixed number to an improper fraction. So that's our first step. So let's rewrite this as 1/7 times, okay, if we're going to convert this to an improper fraction. I'll write it big right here. 4 and 2 over 9. You multiply the 9 by the 4, and then you add that 2. So 9 times 4 is 36, plus 2 is 38. And what's it over? This doesn't change, so it's still over 9. So 38 over 9. Now, can we cross reduce? No, 7 doesn't multiply into 38. So we're going to end up with, let me erase this, 38. That's 1 times 38 over 7 times 9, which is 63. So here we go, B. Let's do the other one, number 5. Okay, same thing. So we can't multiply this in the form that it's in right now. We have to convert this into an improper fraction. So this is going to equal 1 over 8. And to convert this, write it big right here. 2 and 4 over 9. We have to times that 2 by that 9, then add the 4. So we got 18. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 4 is 22. And what's it over? The denominator doesn't change, so it's still over 9. So we got times 22 over 9. Can we cross reduce? Yes, we can. 8 and 22 are both even. So I know that I can take 2 out of this. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 22 divided by 2 is 11. Now let's multiply straight across. 1 times 11 is 11 over 4 times 9 is 36. And there we go, D. This one is a little bit, you need to know that you find the area of a rectangle by multiplying the length times the width. So it's going to be a multiplication question. Also, you can kind of this is a little bit of a hint. The tests print in order of what we learned in the textbook. So if you're doing a bunch of multiplication questions, it's very likely going to be a multiplication question. Even here, right? We're doing multiplying. Here we got this question. It's very likely to be a multiplication question. And like below here, we're still doing multiplication. So this is going to be a multiplication question. Now we've moved into division. So it's a pretty good hint that this is going to be a division question. And yeah, so think about that if you're confused about how big you think this, what you need to do in the question. So this one, we need to multiply 12 and a third with 1 and a third. So first we need to convert it. So we're going to go 3 times 12 plus 1. 3 times 12 is 36, plus 1 is 37 over 3 times, let's convert this. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4 over 3. And that is going to equal, let's see, that doesn't multiply by 3, and neither does that. So we got to do 37 times 4. I need my calculator for this. 148 over 3 times 3 is 9. Now let's see, 148 divided by 9 equals 16 and something. So it could either be this one or this one. So let's see, 16 times 9 equals 144. So 148 minus 144 gives us 4 left over, and that's all over 9. So it's got to be this one, C. Okay. I'm on version B, so let's do one on C. Oh, it's the exact same. Okay, so let's C as well. Okay, how much time do I have left? What are we at? Oh, it's almost going to cut me off, so I'll make part 2.